2 p.m. The world's most famous heartbeat had just gone silent. What chain of choices, rehearsals, and restless nights led to that final minute? Count backward with us. 24 hours. Every breath a warning. London awaits 50 comeback shows, debts, expectations, and a promise to reclaim a crown. Michael's 3 children sleep in Holmby Hills, while their father readies to chase perfection one more time. Inside, hangars clack, sequins glint. A schedule taped to the mirror stares back. Staples Center rehearsal tonight. The mirror reflects a legend in preparation, and a man worn thin by insomnia's unblinking eye. AEG Live's countdown posters plaster downtown. 50 dates at London's O2. History if it works. Disaster if it doesn't. The machine is in motion. Contracts signed. Arenas booked. Millions already spent. Enter Dr. Conrad Murray, hired as personal physician. His task? Tame relentless sleeplessness, so the star can rehearse, recover, repeat. Medicine and show business now share a bedroom. Alliance fraught with risks. By late afternoon, the crew syncs cues at Staples Center. Lasers align. Screens breathe to life. Will the king still command the stage? A city of lights waits for a single silhouette to step into them. Slim, hat brim low, black loafers whispering over tape marks. First notes of wannabe starting something punch the air. Shoulders loosen. The old electricity sparks, and the crew exhales in relief. Thriller rehearsal. Green fog, skeletal hands, a graveyard of props. He cues dancers with a snap, eyes bright, timing razor clean. For minutes at a time, the past isn't past. It is alive and terrifyingly precise. Kenny Ortega watches, equal parts director and guardian. Earlier that week, he'd worried about Michael's fragility. Tonight, he sees fire. Notes tighten, confidence lifts. The show, fragile as glass, begins to shine. Earth song fills the rafters. A cherry picker rises. Wind machines roar. He throws an arm to the heavens, and for a heartbeat, becomes the storm he's singing about. The crew marks the cue. Magic, logged to timecode. Then, the hat, the lean, the grin. Billie Jean. Steps land like metronomes on glass. Dancers stop to watch, suddenly fans again. For a few minutes near midnight, Los Angeles forgets exhaustion. Just after midnight, the rehearsal wraps. Smiles, handshakes, a quiet "see you tomorrow." Outside, security escorts a convoy into the shimmering city. Inside the SUV, fatigue and euphoria spar for control. 3 a.m., the mansion gates whisper open. Security cameras blink. Upstairs, blackout curtains hold back the city. Children sleep down the hall. The house breathes that strange quiet of too much comfort and too little rest. The bedroom is part sanctuary, part clinic. An IV stand gleams beside a king bed. Oxygen tubing coils like a sleeping snake. The body that once defied gravity now begs for the simplest gift: sleep. Insomnia has stalked him for years. Tours, injuries, courtrooms, headlines. Tonight, it paces the room. Breathing slows, then quickens. Minutes grind into hours. The promise of London waits on the other side of a wall of wakefulness. Dr. Murray manages medications through the night, seeking a safe harbor between agitation and sedation. It is a razor's edge. Without hospital monitors, that edge is invisible, felt only when it's already behind you. Dawn pales the sky. Hours of conventional sedatives have failed to conquer the night. A fateful decision approaches. The hospital-grade anesthetic he calls milk. Relief promised, risks immense. The room holds its breath. A dose, then quiet. The restless performer finally drifts, chest rising in gentle arcs. Outside, sprinklers hiss to life on the lawn. Inside, time thins, and protocol drifts ever farther from the shoreline. Calls, messages, routine distractions creep in. A glance away becomes minutes. On a soft bed, chest movement is easy to miss. It takes only one unnoticed silence to turn a quiet room into a siren. Near midday, panic detonates. Unresponsive. A frantic attempt at CPR on a mattress. A shouted plea for help. At 12:21 p.m., a guard dials 911. On the recording, calm professionalism meets rough heat. Paramedics rush in, bags and paddles. They find no effective pulse. Minutes are measured in compressions, drugs, shocks, hope. The living room becomes a field hospital. Outside, neighbors water roses, unaware. For over 40 minutes, medics fight the tide. Finally, a narrow window. Transport to UCLA. The gurney rolls. Cameras click. Siren ignites. Los Angeles traffic parts for a single, desperate errand. At Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, a trauma team assembles. Hands know the choreography. Lines, meds, compressions, scans. Fame doesn't matter here. Only rhythm, oxygen, and a dwindling clock. Family arrives, faces ashen. Security lines the corridors. In a side room, prayers rise in whispers. Outside, the first fans gather under jacarandas, purple blossoms falling like soft confetti of disbelief. 2:16 p.m. Doctors stop. Silence takes the room. The announcement moves down the hallway like a slow wave. A life that redefined the stage ends in a sterile brightness, far from footlights. News detonates worldwide. A website posts first, then a second, then television crawls. Radios in taxis, earbuds on subways, kitchen TVs. Every medium repeats the impossible. Michael Jackson is gone. At the hospital gates, tears and songs begin. Strangers hug like relatives. In London, fans outside the O2 stare at posters of shows that will never open, candles trembling in a damp wind. Back at Carrollwood Drive, detectives seal the scene. Files, syringes, scripts, everything bagged, tagged, photographed. A bedroom that hosted melodies now becomes a ledger of decisions and omissions. The coroner's office begins its work. Tox screens, tissue samples, timelines married to chemistry. The conclusion will be clinical and devastating. Death by acute propofol intoxication with benzodiazepines. Manner, homicide.
Interviews stretch late into night. What did the doctor give, when, and why? Contradictions flicker. A narrative emerges of home anesthesia, without hospital safeguards, and a fatal lapse at the worst possible moment. Around the production, pressure is debated. Emails and memos surface, concerns for health, fears for schedule. Art and commerce collided at freeway speed, and no one walked away unscarred. A memorial is set for Staples Center, the rehearsal space turned sanctuary. Tickets are allotted by lottery. The city braces. Flowers pile where sound checks once echoed. The stage awaits a farewell. Who was lost? A boy from Gary who bent pop to his will. He stitched Motown discipline to futurist sound, turning sidewalks into runways and stages into laboratories. His art redrew the map of fame. Yet greatness extracted a price. Scalp burns from a pyrotechnic mishap, relentless touring, public scrutiny that never blinked. Pain management grew complex. Sleep became an adversary that outlasted every lullaby. Insomnia humbles royalty. For some, the night is a wilderness. Clocks slow, thoughts flare. Each failed attempt makes the next more desperate. In a private suite, a medical boundary bent until it finally broke. Involuntary manslaughter.
Not the verdict on a life, but on a moment, on choices, standards, and the duty of care owed to a vulnerable patient. Even dazzling. Prosecutors describe negligence, powerful anesthetic at home, no continuous monitoring, delayed call for help. In their town, the safeguards of a hospital were stripped away, leaving a star unguarded.
A patient difficult to manage, an unpredictable tolerance, a tragedy not born of malice. Competing narratives braid across days of testimony, each transcript a bid to fix the blame. Jury deliberations end with a word heavy as an anvil. Guilty. Involuntary manslaughter. The sentence closes one chapter and opens another. What justice means when artistry and medicine collide. Prison time served, license actions follow. But no ruling resurrects a voice silenced at 50. Fans learn the vocabulary of loss. Tributes, anniversaries, memorial dances outside stadiums once waiting for an encore. The estate stabilizes. Catalogs surge. A documentary, stitched from those final rehearsals, lets the world glimpse the promise forming. Precision, warmth, the smile after a perfectly landed beat. At home, 3 children learn to carry a name that is both sanctuary and storm. In private frames, he is father first. Bedtime stories, whispered advice, quiet mornings making pancakes. Beyond family, his cultural echo is seismic. Short films disguised as music videos, grooves engineered like architecture, a stage vocabulary dancers still speak fluently. The blueprint keeps building itself. Rumors whirl, as they always do, but evidence remains, a medical chain that failed. In the noise, the simple truth persists. Night demanded sleep, and the path chosen was neither safe nor forgiving. A fedora tip, a playful scuff, a glance to the band. If destiny was waiting, it did not announce itself. It bowed from the wings and waited for the house lights to rise.
Now, reconstruct those hours like a score. Overture at rehearsal, adagio in the quiet drive home, a nocturne of failed sleep, and a final, terrible coda at midday. Each movement flawless until the rest was forever. What does duty mean when talent seems immortal? Medicine without the hospital, art without rest, both chase the impossible. That night proved the body still enforces its rules, even upon those who appear untouchable. Across cities, sleepless workers, artists, and insomniacs watch this cautionary tale. The seduction of shortcuts is real. The bill arrives without mercy. Safer paths exist, but they demand patience and humility. Fans keep vigil each June. Flowers at gates, dance lines on sidewalks, headphones sharing choruses with strangers. Grief becomes choreography, and memory learns to moonwalk forward without erasing past. The final 24 hours are not just an ending, but a mirror. What we demand of stars, what they demand of themselves, and where care failed, all echo in the silence after the last beat.